We cut the bag to the length we want, for example 10 or 20 feet long or more. Here we use several methods to demonstrate the options to fill the bags. You can use a plastic tube to shorten the length of the bag in this way. Or you can turn the bag inside out to double it and make it shorter, or fold it up like your sleeves, and you may find even easier ways. Filling the bag with a can, like the coffee can you used for the mix, is small enough for anybody to pick up. Make sure that the start of the bag is packed well with earth. Maybe first fill it up like a column and then lay it down. Use gravity's slope to help you to move the earth into place. Pack the earth well and fold the end under to tuck it under and close. Compact the earth wall by walking over it and tamping. Tamp the bag by hand or by machine. We found that by hand is much faster and less work. From this stage on, we will be tamping not only from the top with a tamper like a plumber's tamper, but all along you will see us use a brick to shape the bag so that it follows the compass closely. Here we have a roll of standard 4-point barbed wire, which has 2 wire strands and 4 points on the barbs. First we secure the roll in place to open easily, which could be fixed like this, or mobile in the back of a wheelbarrow. Then we unroll it, straighten it up, and cut to fit the length of the bags. To handle the barbed wire, you must use gloves, and you have to straighten it up, so when you cut it, it doesn't snap back at you. Now we use the barbed wire between the layers of bags. We secure the barbed wire in place before we lay the next bag, and there are several different ways of doing it. In this case, for each layer of super adobe, we put 2 strands of barbed wire parallel and 4 inches apart for the main dome, and 1 strand of barbed wire for smaller domes. Throughout this video you will see different techniques of laying the bags. Here he is using his leg to hold the bag vertical for gravity filling. As he fills and lays the bag, he walks backwards. This technique is used to build not only a single building, but an entire village. The most important rule in filling the bags is that if you feel it is a heavy weight and labor, it means your technique is not right yet, and you need more practice.
Here is the geometry and concept of the compass for the dome we will be building. You will see here two different size plan. One is larger dome, one is a smaller dome, the section of smaller dome, because we also are trying to demonstrate that it makes no difference how large or a small dome is, it will be the same concept. The difference between this, what we are going to build, and what a hemispherical dome is, that in a hemispherical dome you have a fixed chain in the center that never changes. Around horizontally, and the same going vertically. But since we are building a taller dome, in this case the same chain has to be longer, because as we go up it has to get longer and longer and longer. To know what length will that be in, that we are building a second chain, which is at the outside of the dome, and it is equal to the diameter from outside to inside of the dome. Now, this change is always going to be fixed, because it will decide the height of the dome, which you will see right here. This is the one in the center that changes, and this chain is at the end of the dome, at the diameter length, that never changes. The one that never changes will decide the height of the dome, which is always the same arch. The size of the chain that is at the center will change from the base to the top. As we go, it gets longer and longer and longer. So at every row, the only thing you need to check is how much do we make this chain longer. To determine that every row or every ring of this sandbags or super adobe is this control chain, the one that never changes. So we will come here at every row of the ring, they will meet together, and we measure it only one time to determine the size of the ring. For example, here's a ring we will lay with this chain. The next ring we need to make it a little bigger. The next ring we need to make it a little bigger. Therefore, at every ring this needs to be marked, because that ring will be same. To decide what size this will be, then we need this control chain. The control chain is the one that never changes, and it touches this chain. Wherever they meet at that ring of the sandbags or super adobe called the delay, that will be, then we drop that one and use this to build. For example, if you are in this point here, to mark how big this chain, how long this chain will be, we bring that same thing again here. We'd say, all right, now mark it here. They meet at that same point. Mark it here. They meet at the same point. And then we drop that and mark this, and then build that ring to this point all the way around. So at every row, therefore, we only need to change the center chain, make it a little longer. The length of that depends where these tell us.
Here we are setting up all the compasses. First we put a stake for the center compass of each half dome, called a niche, and for the big dome. Then we measure the length of the control compass, which is the one that never changes, and makes the height of the niches and the big dome. For the niches, this control compass starts 2 feet above the floor to give more height inside the small domes.